The aim of positive psychology is to catalyze a change in psychology from a preoccupation only with repairing the worst things in life to also building the best qualities in life. My favorite word is the word appreciate. Appreciate has two meanings. The first meaning is to say thank you for something, and that's a nice thing to do. Basic courtesy, to say something nice to someone. But there's another meaning to appreciate, and that is to grow in value. And the two meanings of the word appreciate are connected. It's not a coincidence. Why? Because when I appreciate the good appreciates. 5 little acts of kindness significantly increases our levels of well-being as well as our self-esteem. You have 30 seconds. How many geometric shapes are there on the screen? Go. 0. Okay. Anyone less than 0? Going once, going twice. All right. So I would say that we have quite a large range today between 0 and infinity. So I have an easier question for you. If you know the answer, put your hand up. If you think you know the answer halfway, maybe quarter way up. How many children were clearly visible on the bus? Just as far as most of you in the room were concerned, the children on the bus did not exist, even though they were there, right in front of your very eyes, for 30 or 31 seconds. After the honeymoon phase is over, after 3 or 4 or 5 years, questions such as, what's wrong? Or what happened? Or what do we need to fix? Or what do we need to work on in our relationship? What if I only ask the what is not working kind of questions? Well, then the only things that I will see in my relationship are the things that are not working. Now, is it any wonder that so many relationships fail? It's very difficult, maybe impossible, to build a healthy long-term relationship if we don't also, not only, but also appreciate that are worth appreciating in our partner. How do we identify strength? Well, we can ask 2 questions. The first question is, what are your strengths? In other words, what are you good at? The second question is, what gives you strength? What energizes you? When you find the overlap between these two, that is when you're at your best. That is when you're most resilient. Sometimes suffering, that's not the question. The question is, what do we do about these challenges and difficulties and suffering when we face them? And for that, resilience is paramount. For that, resilience is critical. The healthy, successful, energetic managers and leaders, what they do differently is that they take time aside for recovery. Whether it's the 15 minutes of meditation or walking or having a lunch, and not lunch when they're on the phone at the same time and working at the same time. Real recovery. In fact, managers, leaders who take a day off get more done overall in the week than they do if they don't take time off. In other words, recovery is a good investment. And what I want to talk about today, or more than that, what I want to do today is remind you of the choices that you have at every moment in your life. Right now, an hour from now, and 10 years from now. And those choices that you make create your reality. The work itself is what motivates them in the morning. They see the work as their mission. They see their work as a vocation. Vocation comes from voice. It's their internal voice calling them to do what they're doing. They're passionate about what they do. They can't believe that they're doing what they're doing. What a privilege it is. So the question is not whether or not we experience hardship. That's a given. We all experience hardship. The question is, what do we do with that hardship? In the words of one of my colleagues, Ann Arbison, never let a good crisis go to waste. You will all experience crises. You've already experienced crises. The question is, what do you do with it? Do you waste it, or do you learn and grow from it? And in 2002, I gave a talk to the students, talking to them about the difficult market, talking to them about how it's not going to be as easy as it was even 2 years earlier. Because 2 years earlier, Goldman Sachs and Citigroup and McKinsey and Deutsche Bank would come to Harvard and recruit students. And they were just asking them, please come here, I will give you a larger signing bonus. No, I will give you the larger signing bonus. Please come and work for us. Suddenly in 2002, the reality changed. And companies were laying off, not recruiting. And it was already a challenge to find new work. So I talked to them about it, and it was a very negative talk. And at the end of the talk, one of my students, Shane Fitzcoy, puts his hand up and says, Tal, you are our positive psychology teacher. Can't you say something positive about the market? And there were a few people in the audience that chuckled, and I didn't know what to say. Initially, what I was going to say is, Shane, things happen for the best. But before I opened my mouth, I realized that I didn't really believe that. And I said, Shane, I'll get back to you. And I got back to him a few days later, and I told him the following. I said to him, things do not necessarily happen for the best, but I can choose to make the best of things that happen. You know, it's not always for the best when we experience a loss, or when we're fired from a place we like, or when we have a conflict with our partner, or when the market is tough. But there are certain people who choose to look at the silver lining, who choose to identify those areas that are positive in what had just happened. For example, this is an opportunity for us to get to know one another better. This is an opportunity for us to learn and to grow from failure. This is an opportunity for me to truly appreciate and get closer to my family or friends. This is an opportunity for me to see what I'm really made of. And people who are able to do that, not just become happier, they become more successful. What choices do is that they unleash the potential within each moment. As you become mindful of the potential within this moment, your life gains momentum, becomes momentous. And when a moment matters, life matters.